Hello everyone, this is Victor. Welcome back to the channel. Today we explore one of Metal Gear's most tragic and fascinating family stories, a lineage that touches nearly every game in the series. This is the story of the Emmerich family, 3 generations of brilliant scientists, each one connected to a Metal Gear, and each one carrying the weight of what the previous generation built. The story begins even before the games make it explicit. An unnamed Emmerich worked on the Manhattan Project, the American atomic bomb program, during World War II. His son was born on August 6, 1945. The exact day the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima that evening, that timing is not lost on the family, and it will haunt them across their entire history. That son was the man known as Huey Emmerich, a wheelchair-bound mechanical engineer of extraordinary talent, born into a world already defined by his father's greatest and most terrible contribution. Huey eventually worked with NASA on rocket research, and through those academic circles became colleagues with a Soviet scientist named Alexander Granin, the man who first conceived the concept of a walking nuclear platform, the idea that would become Metal Gear. In the early 1970s, Huey was contacted by an organization called Peace Sentinel, operating in Central America. Their project was called Peace Walker, a massive unmanned AI weapon. The goal of Peace Walker was nuclear deterrence, a platform that could launch a strike automatically if its AI determined an attack was incoming, a machine designed to make human judgment unnecessary. Huey contributed the bipedal locomotion technology that made Peace Walker possible. He worked closely with another scientist named Strangelove, a brilliant AI researcher who had become obsessed with recreating the personality of the legendary soldier, known as the Boss. Before I forget, if you are enjoying this video, please hit that like button right now. It helps us more than you know. Subscribe to the channel too. It truly means everything, thank you. Their professional partnership became a personal relationship, and eventually Strangelove became pregnant with Huey's son. The child was born in 1980, possibly in Afghanistan, where they were both working at the time. Huey named him Hal, after the artificial intelligence in the film 2001, A Space Odyssey, one of his favorite stories. Strangelove, who had given the nickname Huey to the man whose real name was never made public, saw the irony immediately. When Huey attempted to use his 3-year-old son as a test pilot for a prototype Metal Gear called Salant, he smuggled Hal out of the facility and sent him back to the United States, away from his father. Huey's response to losing control of the situation was to lock Strangelove inside the AI pod she had built to house the boss's personality matrix and leave her there to suffocate. He killed her, the mother of his child, because she had thwarted him, and he told no one, carrying that secret for the rest of his life. When Huey was eventually expelled from the Diamond Dogs mercenary organization after being exposed as a saboteur and collaborator, he drifted back to the United States and eventually reunited with Hal. He then married a British woman named Julie Danziger. Julie had a daughter from a previous relationship named Emma Da, and for a time, there was something that resembled a normal family. Hal and Emma grew close. Very close, perhaps too close for 2 young people, sharing a home and searching for warmth in a house where the father provided neither. They called her EE, and she called him her brother. Huey, consumed by his own failures and his unspoken guilt, eventually discovered that his wife Julie had begun a relationship with Hal. What happened next was the Emmerich family's defining catastrophe. Huey walked to the family's swimming pool and drowned himself. He either tried to drag Emma in with him out of rage, or she fell in trying to save him. She was pulled from the water alive, but barely. From that moment, Emma was terrified of water, a phobia so severe it would define her behavior for the rest of her life, and she blamed Hal entirely, furious that he had left the family and never looked back. Hal Emmerich, known to the world as Otacon, carried that guilt quietly across his entire adult life. He dropped out of high school, taught himself everything he needed, and eventually earned degrees from MIT and Princeton through self-study, later working toward his doctorate. He was briefly employed by the FBI's technical division before being fired for hacking into systems he was not authorized to access. He then joined the defense contractor Armstech under Kenneth Baker. At Armstech, Otacon developed stealth camouflage technology and was given the lead engineering role on a secret project at Shadow Moses Island, a nuclear disposal facility in Alaska. He believed he was building a defensive mobile platform. He was actually building Metal Gear Rex, a nuclear-armed walking battle tank, and he did not discover the truth until Solid Snake arrived. During the Shadow Moses incident, Snake found Otacon hiding in a locker, terrified. Their meeting was accidental. Their friendship became one of the most important relationships in the entire series. Otacon helped Snake sabotage Rex and escape. He fell deeply in love with Sniper Wolf, one of the Foxhound mercenaries, and when she eventually died, it was the first of many losses that would hollow him out over the years. Together, Snake and Otacon founded Philanthropy, an organization dedicated to exposing and eliminating Metal Gear proliferating around the world after Rex's design specs were leaked. Years later, Otacon learned that his estranged stepsister Emma was alive and working inside a massive offshore facility called Big Shell, developing the AI system for Arsenal Gear. She had built an entire career out of her own brilliance and her unresolved anger at Hal. She called herself EE, never his name. She had a parrot that would sometimes whisper his name, suggesting feelings she would never say directly. Their reunion inside Big Shell was complicated by her refusal to forgive him, by the urgency of the crisis around them, and by the fact that Otacon still could not explain himself in a way that reached her. She was stabbed by Vamp during the extraction attempt. She reached a terminal to begin the upload of her GW virus before losing consciousness. She died in Otacon's arms on a blood-covered walkway. His second law. He could barely speak for the rest of that mission. Snake had to pull him back from the edge of himself with a few quiet words, and the two continued. Years later, during Snake's final mission, Otacon fell in love with Naomi Hunter, a woman who had once secretly injected Snake with a weaponized virus and had spent years living with that guilt. Naomi helped them. She chose to stop suppressing her own terminal cancer with nanomachines, disabling the system that had been keeping her alive, so she could no longer be used against the people she had come to care for. She died in Otacon's arms. His third law. His third woman who mattered, taken in the middle of a war he could not fully understand or stop. By the end of Metal Gear Solid 4, Otacon had become the guardian of Sunny Emmerich, the daughter of Olga Gurlukovich, raised aboard their stealth aircraft in secret, so the Patriots could not use her as leverage. Sunny, not a biological Emmerich, but Otacon's daughter in every meaningful sense, grew up to be a child genius who helped write the Foxalide virus that ultimately destroyed the Patriot AI network. She was also the one who made Snake's eggs in the morning, who watched sunrises with Otacon, who filled the silence left by every person the family had lost. She is the Emmerich family's last chapter. The Emmerich lineage begins with a man who helped build the atomic bomb and a son born on the day it was used. It passes through a manipulative, cowardly engineer who killed the mother of his child and terrorized his family. And it ends with a man who built something designed to kill millions without understanding what he was doing, who lost 3 women he loved to a war he had helped enable, and who raised a child who helped end that war. Otacon is not a hero in the way Solid Snake is a hero. He is something rarer in this series, a person who was shaped by damage and complicity and chose, every time he had the choice, to be better than what made him. The Emmerich family did not produce soldiers. It produced engineers who built the weapons that soldiers used. And it shows, through 3 generations of brilliant broken people, that the act of building a weapon is never truly separate from the cost of what it does. I am leaving recommended videos on the card right now for you to check out next. Thank you so much for watching, and see you later on, so GG plays.